Alright, I'm sort of done with the script which you see here. If files is not none, what it means is, here I define the variable files, which is a file uploader object. Let's say if I upload chart of accounts, table, vendor, and expense, I still need field. Okay, open. Let me upload these files, just like this one. Here, it says files is not none. That means when we upload files, then I create two variables. They are both list. When I run file name, I'll take this vendor.csv and chop off the CSV portion. That's why you see replace.csv for file in files. It means we modified the individual file within these files. Then I create a variable called all data frames. What it means is, for all the individual file within the upload files, let's say vendor or table, I simply use pandas.pd.read.csv to read the individual CSV file. In other words, I should get multiple tables. Alright, then I create a variable called app. This app thing is a dictionary. It has the key equal to all variables, which refers to the list I defined above. That refers to all the files I uploaded before. Then the dictionary's value is all the tables created from the files, which are embedded inside the variable or data frames. Then I create a variable called will, which is a select box here. It allows me to select from a list. Let's say I pick fill. Since it's a select box, it has a choice attribute being the list of all variables, which is the all variables that I defined above, right? That's why you see vendor, chart of account, expense, those file names that I upload before, okay? Let's say if I remove vendor, let me remove everything first, okay? Let me remove the chart of account, then I choose, I should have removed vendor here, right? Oops, vendor is still there. Let me try deleting everything and start from scratch. Let's pick field, just two files, field and vendor. Okay, just make it simpler. Now we only have field and vendor. Let me pick vendor, and you should see a vendor list. This vendor list is coming from, let me show you. Browse files, there you see it. Since I saved all the files in the SD card, and I put all the files inside a folder pybkp, Python bookkeeping, which you see here. Let's say if I pick vendor, open up the vendor, oops, I got an extra one. Press the wrong button. Select vendor. The vendor table is coming from, let me show you. This is the vendor file. Reference 1, 2, 3. Here we have 1, 2, 3, ABC, you see? Vendor name, whatever. The display name is totally optional because it's just coming from my accounting template. Here, like, let's say vendor name. Let me change it to Chinese. This is the vendor list in Chinese. Let me show you in Chinese. English. This is the vendor list, okay? This is the vendor tab. ABC 1, 2, 3 vendor. There we go. I don't know why it reads like this. I need to deal with it later, the approval date. Anyway, this is my multiple assignment approach. There you see me flow the list to the dictionary app. All these views, select and streamlit right things are for viewing only. We'll need these tables later to create user interface in different languages, like this. It may look different in Excel. I can do something like switching to Jap, Chinese, and to different interface. From sales invoice to Chinese, the linkage isn't very clear because it's just an Excel prototype. In Python, I wanna achieve, let me see. Here you see me breaking the accounting system into different files. Let's say if I just update expense, then the user can only access the expense field and vendor for data entry. I don't want the users to access income. I also don't want them to view the payment and bank. In other words, through this folder, I can omit some files so as to impose some sort of access control, so we can achieve what we call segregation of duties. Let me see field, which is a must, because, something strange in field reference. Oh, I see. That's okay. Inside the app, I just restrict the users from amending the field name, vendor information, and so on. Just imagine when a parent company distributes the files to the subsidiaries' accounting staff, the vendor list. Such lists should have been approved in advance. All changes made should be reflected in the parent company's system for approval. In other words, if the vendor selection inside the expense interface, it should be restricted to what was given in the approved vendor list. I know it's very hard to grasp. We'll see it again when we work on that. That's it. Ciao.